So I wanted to record this. So I don't really have a lot of time to record because I'm always working and trying to make money. So I make these recordings periodically. But today is Friday, I believe it's May 8th. I reached out to the Judicial Standards Commission. I spoke with a Deborah. Her last name begins with an H. And it's about 11:37. I know she was the receptionist, but she was a bit dismissive. I want to say she borderlined on being rude, because I'm telling her stuff and I'm telling her what I've been through, and she's interrupting me to rush me to get off the phone. And so I could tell by her mannerisms, she would interrupt me and stuff like that. And so here's the thing. If you're working for the government, you don't need to interrupt people. You're getting paid hourly. You can answer phones and listen to what somebody has to say. And I recalled because I was trying to get a hold of the project manager of the Criminal Justice Division, because Gitsonville posted something for accreditation, and basically the Judicial Commission standards got to review, make sure they're meeting all their criteria to be accredited. And so I would say that they're not meeting all the criteria. And so I filed a complaint again. Well, I filed numerous complaints. I think I've filed over 100 complaints, probably more than that. I'm not even exaggerating. The Criminal Justice Division or Department, I filed with them. As a matter of fact, Thomas Hopkins, he's I don't know exactly what his role is, but he was very dismissive. You know, I'm literally explaining crimes committed by police officers and government entities, and I know he doesn't have Hopkins doesn't have control over everything, but he does have some say over police officers. He has the ability to influence, and this guy was dismissive. He was like, well, I'm sorry this happened, blah blah blah. Look, I don't want to hear that. You know, I don't want to hear that you're sorry. Might as well be the same thing as F off, because it's like we've been dismissed and we've been ignored. And so this is actually what prompted me to make these YouTube videos, to document, is the way that I've been treated by people, that are in these positions. They take these positions to and they claim that they care about the people. They claim that they're here to serve. But who are they serving when they're disrespectful to us, when they're not actually doing their job? And even I posted a video about Richard Ojeda. He's running for Congress. I think he's out of West Virginia, from what I read. But this guy who's running for Congress is removing my post calling out accountability. And then he actually, his team messaged me about, well, we can't do anything. He's not Congress. You just talking about the issue would raise concerns. Just talking about it, like, hey, this guy went through this stuff and it's horrible. His family did, but nobody wants to do that. Yet these same people are talking about how they serve in North Carolina. And I'm just going to be honest. If you have the ability to address misconduct in any way, and you choose not to use your voice for that or your platform, you're not serving North Carolina. You're just telling people what they want to hear. And I was never really into politics. I still am not. I'm not a Democrat versus Republican person. I'm just more of I want people to do their jobs. I don't care what party you're at. I would vote for Democrats if the morals were there. They were doing the jobs. Same thing with Republicans. For me, it's not about a party, and this is where most people get caught up. It's Democrats versus Republicans. But here's the thing. It's Democrats and Republicans doing misconduct, engaging in it, ignoring it. And when you choose to ignore valid complaints, that makes you part of the problem. It makes you complicit. Kind of like if you I'll give you an example. If you I don't want to get in trouble, but if you take part in harming somebody, like maybe you didn't do the harming, but like you happen to be with the people, or you happen to know about it and you don't come forward, that makes you a co-conspirator. And so by definition, these government entities, these people are co-conspirators. And there's no laws that force them to act on credible complaints. In my opinion, there should be. And this is exactly what I'm pushing. So when you see me posting repeatedly, this is exactly the issue that I have, and this is what I'm trying to get addressed, is government entities are refusing to address credible complaints. They're dismissing them, and they have the power. But I'll tell you what I believe it comes down to. I believe that these people are friends with some of the people engaging in the misconduct. Maybe not friendly in the sense that like they hang out after work, but more or less they're acquaintances and they know each other, and that like they overlook stuff for each other. That maybe, for example, a police officer, a chief might be do a bunch of criminal stuff, but the prosecutor isn't going to charge him because he's engaged in other criminal stuff. And then you have Congress, people running for Congress, they all have skeletons in their closet. And so it becomes, well, don't tell on me and I won't tell on you. And this is my opinion. And we need, in my opinion, this is why the economy is messed up. This is why everything, we got billionaires making decisions for average people. When you grew up rich, you don't know what it's like to be poor. You know, and it follows, man, and then it trickles down. You know, what you're seeing with Donald Trump, that's macro, being a larger scale of it. But in individual counties, you know, that's micro. This is what you're seeing. You know, and I believe that if we held these people accountable from the top up, top down, then you're going to have less government misconduct. I don't know if you can ever get rid of government misconduct completely, but in the sense of like cops abusing their power and prosecutors abusing their powers, people like that, and Congress knowing about it and doing nothing. And we have all these valves, these safety valves that don't work. And it's because we blindly trust, as a nation, as a country, we blindly trust these individuals to be morally impartial. But in reality, human beings are corrupt creatures. This is the way we are. You know, even myself, and I think I'm morally sound, but who's to say if my daughter didn't do something, if I wouldn't, I don't think I would, but I've never been in that circumstance. If I wouldn't, you know, do something illegal. But I'm not trying to harm people or make fun of them for being who they are. But what I am suggesting is we put stuff in place to prohibit this type of behavior. Because if there's something where they know, well, if I don't act on this, I'm going to get in trouble, I'm going to be held legally and criminally responsible, then you'll see more people like not dismissing complaints. And this, in my honest opinion, this is why there's nothing that could, if somebody doesn't do there's no incentive for these people to do their jobs properly. Because if you notice, in the government, you can get a DUI, you can do all these illegal things and break these laws that if a person in a regular job did, they would be fired and criminalized. This is an issue, and this is the double standard that people are tired of.